We're in top form, Jamie. Listen, we heard we were playing your stuff earlier on the weekend there, right? And
all right, okay.
And interesting, clearly passionate, which we would expect regarding Spurs. I want to ask you something, mate. So I'm looking at Spurs, and I've actually gone on record saying, for some reason, I've got a great degree of sympathy with Spurs because you just can't believe what's happening. However, you mentioned you weren't happy with the management side, the business side of the club. Yeah. I think that's a very fair comment. However, I think more to do with the problems of Spurs has been the poor recruitment. Is that not more of an issue?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, I think recruitment, Ali's been shocking. We know that, though. You know, players that have come in have been nowhere near good enough this season. But I think, you know, Daniel Levy, when he's in charge of that as well. You know, he's in charge of getting the right man in to get the recruitment right. And he brought in someone who's now got banned for 3 years. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the man at the head of it all is Daniel Levy, Ali. And I think the way he's run the football club in terms of a business side of it has been sensational. He's turned it into, you know, £1 billion football club. But in terms of the actual football side of it, it's just nowhere near good enough, is it? You know, like, we can talk about managers and you can ask me about Arne Slot, who, you know, to be honest, I don't really know much about. You know, he's gone and done a good job, you know, for Feyenoord. You know, you can talk about bringing in Nagelsmann, you can talk about bringing in, you know, Brendan Rodgers. But at the end of the day, until you get rid of the deadwood at the football club, until you get rid of the players that ain't good enough to play for Tottenham, until you change the mentality of the football club, then nothing's going to change. You've had Antonio Conte, you've had Jose Mourinho, you've had Pochettino, and you've still won nothing. So there is something wrong at the football club. Antonio Conte didn't come out and say what he said, you know, with him sitting there and going, there is something seriously wrong with the mentality of this club and the players here. And until that changes, it don't matter who you bring through the door.
Can I ask Jay on Harry Kane? So wonderful goal at the weekend. Obviously an incredibly classy player.
Yeah.
Did you feel like him saying goodbye at the weekend to the fans for the last home game was a serious goodbye, or do you think we just still have hopes that he's going to stick around?
Well, look, obviously we all hope that he'd stick around and sign a new contract because like Laura, without Harry Kane, I seriously think we could be fighting relegation next season.
No.
Like, we are that bad without him. Like, we have been solely dependent on Harry Kane to score us goals and do stuff for us. And I think, you know, with the lack of ambition that we've shown and the players that we've signed who ain't been good enough, if he leaves, we are in big, big trouble. And I feel like he's got to leave, really. Like, why would he stay? You know, like, the guy wants to win something. The guy deserves to win trophies. And I just don't see that changing next season. I think we need a rebuild. I don't think all of a sudden there's going to be this magic wand that's going to come in and all of a sudden Tottenham are going to be back and we actually need, like, I feel like we've run out of that now. You know, like, Daniel Levy's run out of luck. You know, he had Pochettino, he brought him in, didn't spend any money, he was building this stadium, and then the shiny new stadium was like, oh, wow, look at this stadium he's built. Then he brought in Mourinho and everyone was like, right, we've got a top-class manager. And then he gets Conte. And it still hasn't worked. So I feel like now Daniel Levy's luck is up. And the next move that he makes has to be the right one. And if it doesn't, he will be out of the football club. The fans won't know. They've had enough of it anyway. But if he makes another mistake, I think the fans will go completely.
You can't get him out unless he wants to go, though. Are you just sort of saying it will get so toxic?
It'll get so toxic he'll have to leave. You know, at the end of the day, the fans go hard enough. Because at the moment, you're seeing the protests and they're not, you know, they're there and people are talking, but, you know, you look at the stadium and go, well, hold on a minute. You know, we're protesting about a guy who's kind of built this incredible stadium. But if the football keeps getting bad and the way the club is run on the football side of it, I think then the fans are going to start turning. Because you're paying an awful lot of money, these fans, to go and watch Tottenham play. And it's diabolical to watch. So, going back to Harry Kane, though, look, Laura, if he doesn't leave, he lacks ambition, doesn't he? Let's be honest. Like, if he doesn't leave and a club does come in for him and Spurs go, like, you know what, we'll probably have to look at selling you, and he doesn't go to, say, a Man United, then I think he lacks ambition.
Well, I think he's going to want to go, isn't he? Because he obviously handed in the transfer request before. But if it's whether or not Daniel Levy will let him go with a year left, or whether they will let him run down his contract and let him go for nothing. Jamie, it is wonderful to have you on, my friend.
Is that it? Is that all you want from me, Laura? Is there no slide digs today? No Ali coming at me about something.
No.
It's all very nice this morning.
Nothing but the utmost respect for you, Paul. Tell you that.
Always have. Have a good day, Jane. Hey, enjoy the show tonight.
Have a nice day and have a wonderful show this evening, Jimmy.
Something's going on here. Something's going on.
It does feel like it, but there's nothing. I promise you. Even I'm suspicious of myself.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday morning 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.